What's going on YouTube? It's Dragoon here, and I'm back with a new Elemental Hero deck profile, as well as a new camera. So I'm still trying to figure out all the little kinks with it. This camera is more megapixels, and I'm pretty sure it shoots higher quality video than my last one. So I'm hoping that this all should work out to produce better videos for you guys. I'm still trying to figure everything out though, so just bear with me on that there. So, as the format kind of is winding down, this is the deck I've been playing for a little while. I've been toying around with it. It's been giving me pretty good matchups with the more meta decks like Dragons. Dragons really aren't that much of a problem with this deck. I've changed a couple things because of the format winding down, but yeah, this is the kind of the deck I've been playing around with for the last, I don't know, maybe month or so. I just haven't been able to make the video because of a multitude of things. I wanted to finish the ninjas first before I shut this one off. But yeah, I feel like this deck should still be decently relevant next format. I don't think it's gonna. I think the format is gonna be relatively similar. I don't know how much they'll change things. I mean, it'll be different enough, but not too different to where this deck just instantly is not good or something like that. So let's not waste any more time, and let's just go ahead and get started. So we play 1 Stratos, that's obvious. We play 3 Elemental Hero Neos Alias. And now we're playing 3 Elemental Hero Bubbleman. So these are all of your Elemental Heroes. They all are really good. This deck is a lot of fun, and it gets you access to a lot of big combos, which is what I really like about it. Bullman is just jumps right in there to make Xyz summons, and you've got your Neos Alias to beat in, and your Stratos to just search you and get you those free cards. So a very good lineup of heroes there, but they're not alone. We're still sticking around with 1 Photon Thrasher. I dropped him to 1. You'll see what card I'm playing next. This guy's awesome. If you want to play 2, definitely try 2. I love this card. And my last monster is a random monster. It is Winged Kuriboh. Why am I playing Winged Kuriboh? You don't need to play this card. This is my 41st card. You can take it out if you don't like it. I'm only playing it because a friend of mine and I decided to add at least 1 card from our really old decks. This card is what I used to play in my very first hero deck back before Stratos even existed. You know, it was back when we had the normal monsters and stuff like that. I used to play Winged Kuriboh. So I put him back in just for fun, and yeah, he's pretty cool though. He can buy you a turn if you have nothing, so he's not too bad. You can just set him, and then you can save yourself for 1 turn, and he's light, so he gives you access to Shining. So yeah, that's Winged Kuriboh. Alright, so that's all the monsters. Like I said before, you don't have to play Winged Kuriboh. He's just an extra card that I'm playing for fun. So we've got our spells. Starting off, we've got the standard trio of Reborn, Heavy, and Dark Hole. Pretty standard. You should be playing these. I think they're all very good. We've got 2 pots of Duality, so we can get to what we need faster. Yeah, these are very important. If you open up with this card in this deck, provided you don't absolutely need to special summon that time, it's just really good. I've always found Duality to be very good in E-Heroes, and I don't think that's changed here. I've got 1 reinforcement to the army. It just helps you get to your warriors, obviously. Like I've said before, I mentioned this in one of my other videos, I like to use this to search for Photon Thrasher if I can, because I've got plenty of other cards to get me to my E-Heroes. I'd rather not have to use this on them. But, you know, you use this on them if you have to. Don't waste your time. Don't lose the game because you're waiting to draw the E-Call before you can use this on Photon Thrasher. Speaking of the emergency call, we've got 2 of those guys. Very good. Just gets you to your E-Heroes whenever you need them. Super good if you set these. Like, if you open these and something else, you can do so many cool plays where you just set these and you search for the Bullman. It becomes pretty much just a special summon Bullman. It's really good, just depending on if you can set enough cards in your hand, which is why we kind of have a limited monster count, because we don't want to have to make Bullman's effect not work out for us. We always want his effect to be live, so we don't play a lot of monsters that's going to clog our hands that will just kind of slow us down. We don't want that to happen, which is why when I go into siding, I always keep that in mind. So yeah, those are your two cards to get to your hero monsters. We also play 2 A Hero Lives. I don't like paying a lot of life points with this card, which is why I really will never do it unless I have no other options. But this card opens up too many plays to where you can activate A Hero Lives, add Stratos, or well, special Stratos off of this, use his effect, add like Alias, then you can normal Alias, and sometimes you'll have like this in hand, so you can set one of these, set other cards, activate E, use E to search for Bulbman, special Bulbman, then you have just big plays. Sometimes you'll also have like a Miracle Fusion in hand when you go ahead and do that, and it instantly becomes OTK. Hero Live just opens up way too many OTKs, and it lets you win the game really quickly if it comes down to that. If your opponent leaves themselves open for you for one turn, it can spell disaster for them because you have the ability to just wipe them out all at once because they weren't prepared for your assault. So that's something I really, really like. Obviously, if they've got the Gores or something like that, you might be in trouble, so you want to keep that in mind. But yeah, it's really good overall. I really like it. You just got to be careful. Just be considerate of when you activate this card. Don't waste your life points because with this deck, you don't want the game to drag on too long, but the fact of the matter still stands that if you cut yourself short, it's not always very good. Alright, so we've got 3 Miracle Fusion. This card's one of the most important cards of the deck. You just need it. It helps you OTK like all the time. It helps you just put big monsters on board. It helps you bring your heroes back when you've exhausted a lot of your resources. You only play 7 E heroes in the deck, and if you exhaust them and the game drags on too long, it can spell defeat. You really need to keep that in mind, and that's why Miracle Fusion becomes very good. It just allows you to bring Stratos back, bring Alias back, bring Bulbman, whatever you feel like you need in that situation. Obviously, you're doing this via Shining's effect, but it allows you just to get those level 4 monsters back and do stuff with them. And obviously, putting Shining and Absolute Zero and all those other good cards on board is never bad. This card can be a little cloggy, though, with the low monster count, but if you want to try 2, go ahead. I still think 3 is important, though, because this is a more OTK-style deck. Alright, I'm playing 2 Super Polymerization because the Dragon matchup is stupid. Like I said before, you do well against dragons with this deck, but the fact of the matter still stands that the deck is just way too good. So this card helps mitigate that deck. You can hit Light and Darkness Dragon with this. I usually bring out Escudero with this card, with Light and Darkness Dragon, because I don't want to use Shining unless there's something banished. I'd like to save him from Miracle Fusion, but obviously if I need to, I'll bring him out. One of the cool plays I did with this was I used a Hero Lives, I believe. This was a little while ago, I'm trying to remember. And I specialed an Alias, and then I used this, fused the Alias and my opponent's Draco Sack, and made a Great Tornado. And then I was able to set a Emergency Call, and I want to say I set 2 Emergency Call that turn. Either that or was Reborn. It's been a little while since this game happened, but and I specialed Bulbman. I got another monster. I don't know if I just Reborned Alias or if I specialed another Bulbman using another Emergency Call, but I ended up overlaying for Blade Armor Ninja, so I took out Draco Sack and both tokens in one turn, and I still had a Miracle Fusion in hand to the point where I could have made Shining, but I didn't feel like could have made Shining, but I just didn't feel the need to. I didn't want to wait and see if my opponent would Big Eye and steal him. So, yeah, that actually won me the game, though. He just couldn't get back from that. So this card will win you games. Just keep in mind of the discard cost. Sometimes it can be bad. Sometimes if you draw multiples of this, it's not too bad because you can just discard one to activate the other. So it's not the worst thing in the world. And it just gives you answers to any monster. Just like I said before, keep in mind of when you activate it and what you want to discard. Sometimes you can discard a hero to make Miracle Fusion live, so that's cool. Alright, we've got 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. This is an OTK deck. I don't really feel the need to explain this. I know the current format doesn't set like a ton of cards, but if you want OTK, you need to be able to clear out any sort of face down cards that your opponent could have as soon as possible, and you need to be able to do it like on the fly. Otherwise, that one torrential, that one mirror force, whatever it may be, is going to stop your OTK, and then just because of as luck would have it, they'd have the dark hole, and then you'd lose. So you got to have something to be able to strike out, skill drains and all that good stuff. It's really good against like Fire Fist and especially rogue matchups because it just allows you to keep your monster presence alive. And so I don't think 3 is bad. It's always an easy side if you don't like 3 when you come into game 2. Usually I'll side out like at least 1 in the dragon matchup. So it's not bad. And I think 3 will probably be more relevant next format as well because, it'll be a new format, so it'll have to kind of figure itself out. So we've got double Gemini Spark for more removal. I talked about kind of this my whole ideal with playing Gemini Spark. I only play, I'll play 1 less Spark than I play of Gemini monsters. So we've only got the 3 Alias in the deck, so I only play 2 Spark. I know you can search for Alias via Emergency Call and Hero Lives and Stratos, but the way I look at it, for me, I want to have 3 to 4. I want to have 4 live bodies, like 4 actual monsters in the deck, in order to play the 3 Sparks. I don't know. It's just always been a thing for me. I know people like playing 3 and 3, but I don't know. To me, it's just kind of inconsistent, and 2 has been working out just fine. You still see it plenty enough, and I really just don't want this card to clog. It's a really bad card to clog. And then my last spell is 1 Forbidden Dress. In my very first hero deck, I showed this card off. I believe I was only playing the 2 Spark in this card. So I'm doing it again. I really like Forbidden Dress. Like I said before, it works with all your monsters, not just Neos Alias. You can attack into Raikou, not worry. I know Raikou's not like a big threat this format, but it's just an example. Protects you from Mirror Force. You can play like Lance instead of this if you want. I don't have Lance, so I use Dress, and it works out. Battle phase stuff, just a general good card in my opinion. So onto the traps, we've got Solemn Warning and Solemn Judgment. Your standard negation here. A lot of traps here you're going to see are very standard. Double Bottomless, card's very good. Just spot removal. Double Torrential, super good in this deck, because like I said before, we get to use the graveyard a lot, and you want to be able to clear out your opponent's monsters. You want to be able to punish players for overextending, and you want to be able to, the more cards you have to stop like Dragosack, Big Eye, and all that, when they come out, the better off you're going to be. You can grind them down, and you can torrential the Dragosack or the Big Eye as soon as it comes out, and they've wasted 2 dragons for the turn. And if you got the right cards in you can OTK them next turn, provided they don't have Gores or something like that, or the Breakthrough skill. But this card just puts in a lot of work and just is very fantastic. I really like playing 2. And now I'm playing 2 Mirror Force in this deck. With the advent of Master of Blades, the fact that you can't target him with other cards such as Dimensional Prison and stuff like that, I think Mirror Force is a very good card. Obviously, if you are on your turn and your opponent does anything you don't have to worry about, you can always make Excalibur and attack over him, but I like to save Excalibur for like when I'm OTKing. If I don't have to use it on Master Blades, I won't. A lot of players don't see Mirror Force coming, actually, which is something I really like about the card. Some people say, I've heard people say that, once you activate the first Mirror Force, people expect the second one. That's never been the case for me. Sometimes I'll activate the first one, and no one ever expects the second Mirror Force. The only people who ever expect the second Mirror Force are my friends, because A, they know me and they know my playstyle, and B, they've probably played against this deck enough times to where they know virtually all the cards in it. Mirror Force is just very good. Like I said, it punishes players who overextend, who put too much on the board, and sometimes it can just give you, it can kind of reset the field and give you a fighting chance. Like, I've top decked Mirror Force and set it, and my opponent had like 3-4 monsters on board. They attack with all of them, flip this up, and that allows me to destroy everything they've got. And then sometimes, if the deck wants to be good to me. I'll draw the Miracle Fusion next turn and, you know, be able to go on the offensive there. So that's what I really like about Mirror Force. I think the card's very good. This is back when I was a kid. I always thought Mirror Force was like one of the greatest cards ever. So playing it at 2 is always still kind of weird to me because I never expected it to be at 2. So yeah, it's definitely a good card. So I'm playing 1 Fiendish Chain in this deck. More, like I said before, you pay a lot of life points, which I kind of forgot to mention about Mirror Force. You pay a ton of life. You need to be able to stop your opponent from attacking you. And Fiendish Chain helps you do it, and plus Fiendish Chain obviously negates monster effects. So you can negate that Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. You can negate just anything. It's a really nice card. I like just playing 1. You can try Breakthrough Skill if you'd like. That card works pretty good too, but for me, the whole life point factor and the whole I don't want my opponent to be able to attack me all the time makes Fiendish Chain an important choice, in my opinion. And then I'm playing 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device. Just 1, like I said before about Master of Blades. I'd never wanted to draw into this card with him on the board because it is pretty much useless. You can use this card to put the dragons back in their hand before they overlay, but the best use for this card is just to hit Dragosack, Big Eye, whatever card you want. Like the second it comes out, it's just instantaneous removal, and it'll make them, in essence, go minus that turn. Well, at that point at least. So it's a very good card. It can help you go for game. If your opponent just sets a monster, you're afraid of what it is, you can put it back in the hand and then attack for game. So I like this card. It might, I don't know how long I'll keep in the deck, but I think it's pretty good so far. It's just simple removal. You can hit Synchros with it too, with Synchros coming back. So I see this card's a Compulsory Evacuation Device staying pretty good. And my last trap is Starlight Road because I don't like Heavy Storm, especially Dark Hole, Torrential, Mirror Force, all that good stuff you can stop with this, but mostly Heavy Storm. Okay, so let's go to the extra. We've got 2 Shining. This is a really standard hero extra deck. I don't feel the need to explain these too much. 1 Absolute Zero, 1 Nova Master, 1 Gaia, 1 Great Tornado, and 1 Escudito. So you've got 2 Shining and then 1 of everybody else, just because Shining is the best in my opinion. And then you need 1 of everybody because you're playing Super Polymerization. These cards just put in a lot of work and they're all good in their own right. So I really like these cards. The ones you want to make most often though are Shining and Absolute Zero because they just wreck a lot of decks, especially if you can put like Absolute Zero with some other good water monsters. He just gets so big. So yeah, very good cards. Got 1 Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Road. Obvious. Xyz really aren't that difficult to understand. They're very standard choices for Xyz, stuff that I've been playing for a while. So we've got Maestroke. He beats over Ophion, and he protects himself. So best rank 4 Xyz in my opinion in the game. 1 Black Ship of Corn deals with a bunch of annoying cards, especially Zen Mines, stuff that's going to slow you down. You just deal with it and hit for that 1000. Abyss Dweller, very good against dragons, very good against Marmel's Dark Worlds. Cowboy, you go for game with this card. He beats over Ophion as well. Excalibur, OTK all day, and once again kills Ophion. Blade Armor Ninja, more OTK potential. My favorite personal Xyz monster, just because I love the artwork and love the effect. And probably the MVP of the extra deck. I don't know, maybe Shining is the MVP, but this guy is fantastic. It's Shockmaster. I talked about this guy in my Ninja deck profile, but this guy will win you so many games. Like, I won against Dragons game 1, went into game 2, and lost. Unfortunately, I was kind of surprised that I won game 1, and then when I had the stuff to side against him, I lost. But game 3, I made Shockmaster, and that was just it. I made Shockmaster my very first turn, and that won me the game. I use this against Exodia decks a lot. You can call spells. You can call spells against Prophecy. You can do a lot of good stuff with Shockmaster. And this deck has so many different ways to make it with so many different cards that you could possibly have in your hand. It's a super good card. So yeah, that's the deck, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This deck profile is pretty long, and my camera's battery is starting to die. Yeah, So if you have any questions, just leave a comment. I'll definitely be sure to try to answer those for you. Let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you later.